Well, I'm back on reversed. I just put my safety belt on. Even for the road, it's better to have the safety belt on. Although some people see that occasionally it's not there, I haven't put it on yet, and they scold me for not having my safety belt on. So, for those who are coming in anew, which is happening a lot just lately, this is the road back to the house in the mountains, and we are moving out. We're in the process of moving out. Of course, that's the family property, and so Nana is there. Brothers and sisters are there. That's the compound there, and of course that will be our occasional place to stay. So it's not abandoned completely, but even though I have the Raptor, which is an excellent 4x4 truck, this road is a nightmare, and it means that I can never, I know that this seems a very inconsequential thing, but I can never have a clean truck. And one of the bad side effects of this is that the wheels get completely choked up with mud. I drive one trip up to the house after I've cleaned the truck, the wheels get jammed up with wet clay because of the rain, and then that clay dries, and it dries rock hard, and it dries around all of the mechanism, the suspension, the braking, and it locks in all around that. Well, the moving parts will not allow it to jam it up, but for sure it's not doing any good. Now, I will miss things about this drive. I'll miss all this greenery, all this mountain. These are mountains. By normal sight you would say, oh well, they're hills, but a mountain, I guess, from what I read, is given its designation or its name by the altitude above sea level. And of course we are rising all the time. As you can see here, we're rising. Now, I'm doing very little speed here. For those who are thinking, well, how dangerous is it to hold the camera while he drives? Well, if you look at the speedo, and we're in kilometers, so this is the speed that I'm driving. It's just barely 10 or 15 kilometers an hour. And there is no other traffic on this road. Occasional motorcycles and a very occasional car. But here you can see how the road gets completely destroyed. I mean, this really is difficult. I had to pull a car out of this a few weeks ago because it was stuck in there. You can see, look. Now, someone Mark mentioned a log in the road. Beth talked about a log in the road, a great exaggeration due to things being lost in translation. So what had happened was, at that particular place that we've just passed, where the car, a van, you know, kind of an SUV type, but not four-wheel drive, had got stuck. It's very easy, if you look at that groove there, easy to bottom out there, and so even now I have to be careful going, but look at the speed that I'm doing. And this is how I would normally do it, not because I'm on camera. And the reason that I take it very slow is because I want the truck to last a long time. and beating the hell out of it every time I come up and down this road is not the way to achieve that goal. But even though the road is bad, there are pleasure moments as I look out across. If you look there, we're enjoying a nice day today. Blue skies, some clouds, but I don't see any dark clouds, don't see any rain clouds, so we're lucky. But if you look now, beautiful. Now you see, if you look down the side, there's nothing to stop you going over there if you don't pay attention. And that tree, I actually pulled that tree. It had come down and across the road, and I threw that tree over the side myself, you know. So you can see little glints, reflected roofs. Now we didn't see any of those before the typhoon, before Odette last year. We didn't see any of those, didn't see any, maybe one or two lights at night, but everything was covered by vegetation, and we never saw any of those houses. Now we're seeing them. Now if Mark is watching, he's saying, I thought that the log across the road, just to finish that comment that I made, if you look there, there's nothing. Am I talking to myself here? It's very difficult to see the screen because of the bright sunlight, but if you look, there's nothing to stop you going over there. Now the road, in heavy rain, these trees will give way, the roots will be compromised, and a tree will fall across the road. As you can see there, once again, there's nothing to stop you going over, so you have to pay attention. And I know this road very well. I've been traveling this road for something like 9 years, and I know it very well, and I know it's not to be taken for granted. So a log across the road is not unusual, Mark. It is a common thing, not an everyday thing, but common. And the deterioration of the road changes from 1 month to the next. Now we're experiencing bad erosion here at this particular place. It didn't used to be like this. Put the grader in and it's disturbed something. Mother Nature has her own comments to make. You can see how the truck is pitching, and I'm going very slow once again, not even 15 kilometers. So I should just make a few comments about the way that our life goes. Our life is not for everyone. I know that you may look at this and look at that, look at all that countryside, look at all those beautiful rolling hills or mountains. At certain places you can see Cebu, you can see out, you can see the ocean, you can see Cebu, you can see other people's houses very far away. There's something very rural about living here. You'll meet along the way, you'll meet hilltop farmers who are riding their carabao, pulling a bamboo sled. When we first moved here, as I say, 9 years ago, we decided that we would build a house. It started off as a small house. We were thinking a bedroom really, and away from being actually in the house with Nanai, which didn't allow us much of a married life. So we decided that we would build. Now I'm quite experienced with metal stud, whereas metal stud is quite liftable. You know, a piece of 10 or 12 foot metal stud you can lift with one hand quite easily. So I was able to build the house out of metal stud. Had I tried to build the house out of concrete block, we were on a road which was impassable for a truck. They'd never had a truck or a car up to the house, and it was only later that we built our bridge and our road. Up to that time, all of the materials for the little red house were brought up on a carabao by my brother-in-law Rado, and he brought the materials up from the road. We used to have the materials, metal stud and plywood and stuff like that, could be brought up by Rado from the road, and to get it to the road we used to hire Mario. Mario had a tricycle. He was a tricycle driver in Talabon, and we used to give him the receipt from the shop, from the hardware store, Linda's hardware store, and he would take that to the warehouse, and they would load up whatever we had bought, and he would bring it to the bottom of the road, and then it was up to Rado to bring it up to the hill. And then I built the house myself, and because it was metal stud I was able to do that. So that brings you up to that point. Now it was only later at first riding a motorcycle. We used to walk this at first, and this road actually from about 100 yards back from here we put in ourselves. I know it's not much of a road, but then the Barangay road is not much of a road. Now here's another place. You see, this is one of the places that keeps my truck dirty, and it clogs up the wheels, affects the balance, and it goes hard, and I'm the man that has the dirtiest truck, and I clean it the most. I go to the pressure wash and clean all that mud off. I'm sure they love me because I leave so much mud behind. But anyway, we're on the final stretch now to the house, and I'll keep filming. Now you can see various things. Now that silver roof that you can see reflecting in the sun, that's where we're going. That's the hill that we're going to. The road curves around the Gemelina tree there. Once again, this is a bad part of the road, but because we've had some sun, it's managed to drain off and dry up. So the road actually, as bad as it is right now, is not as bad as it usually is, because when it's been raining torrentially, oh boy, this is a difficult place now. This is a difficult place now. Now you have to imagine doing this every day, sometimes more than once. Now we've come close to getting stuck in the Raptor. We've come close, but we've never actually been stopped. We were stopped once on the final. Look at that. See, now when it really is raining, you have to follow those tracks, because if you try to go the center part, it will slide you off into the tracks. May have a demonstration of that now. There we go. I'm down in the track. Nothing I can do. I'll have to follow it. Even if I turn the wheels, it will not allow me to go. This is a make or break point. See, it's pushing me down into the bank. This is the point now that I can get out. Our truck's doing pretty good actually, because I'm not in four-wheel drive, but I expect that I will have to be. Now, as I say, we're going very, very slow. We're hardly moving. I always remember at school they said that 4 miles an hour, if you were going at 4 miles an hour, that's how fast the postman would walk, is 4 miles an hour. I always remembered that. so we're not even doing 4 miles an hour. This is terrible. This is by that's Julio's house there, and there we're up on the hill. Now that's the hill where we're going now. Now this final part we put in concrete because we simply couldn't get up here, so we had to put that in concrete. And now here's the bridge. I designed this bridge. We built it ourselves. This bridge was designed to take a fully loaded 5-ton truck, and I had a big fight to make it this strong, because they said, well, it's only you on a motorcycle and maybe a car, what's the difference? And I said, if it looks like it will take a 5-ton truck, then somebody in a 5-ton truck will make the delivery. So I'm going to put into 4-wheel drive now. There we are. And it curves around. We've got our 2 strips of concrete, which we actually filled in after a while because it didn't work to have the 2 strips. You would end up sliding off and digging into the center part. So I did get stuck there once, but I just had to drift back onto the concrete and I was free. So not a big problem. So that log, I keep digressing, but that log mark which you picked up on was just something that the people who were stuck, that I helped, that I towed out with the Raptor, the people that were stuck, they put that log in there to fill in and get some traction, because it was the Raptor that got them out in the end. So here we are. There's lovely, and there's the laundry. And I was hoping that I'd get some of my jeans, but it looks like they're all wet. Oh well. I wanted to ride the motorcycle today. So that's my trip up memory lane, as it's turned out. Thanks for being with me. There's our destroyed red house up there, and all of this of course was taken out too. The only thing that stayed was that little guest house, which some of you will have stayed in there. And this is Nanai's house. Nanai's house lost the roof. We put that back on and did the repairs, and that was the first house that we repaired. But while we were doing that, after the storm, we all stayed like sardines in that little guest house, which miraculously didn't